I'm Shanegotyou11, and with me as always is Trey.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Coast Madden Podcast. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Hope you guys have been staying safe out there, and let me know in the comment sections or in the chat how you guys have been doing throughout this whole pandemic. So, but other than that, nothing really with the cool intro or what have you. But I guess now we can get straight into the Madden Bowl talk, which is, as we know, been pretty much the talk of Madden recently. But Shane, how have you been doing lately?
Better last few days. Just getting used to the new baby. I mean, it's a lot of time and stuff and tiredness, but I'll be ready for Madden 21 for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these are some weird times for sure. I have to tell you that, but anyway, so congratulations to Joke. He is your Madden 20 Madden Bowl champion. And for those of you that don't know, because I know we have a few people that like to play Mutt, which is cool. It's always cool to get like different members of the community that might not be that big into the tournaments, but they might be into Madden Ultimate Team and what have you. But basically, the Madden Bowl is the Super Bowl of Madden. If you win the Madden Bowl, you're pretty much known as the best player in Madden 20 or whatever Madden it is. So
No, it's Madden 20, bro. You got it right on the button.
what did I say before? I'm confused. What?
No, because you said or whatever Madden it is. Because you
Oh,
said
okay,
Madden
yeah.
20, but then you said or whatever Madden it is. So I said you
Why?
got it right on the
Yeah,
button. I think I said that. I don't remember now.
yeah. Well, I guess I was just saying, like, in general,
Oh, okay,
like,
okay.
it could be like last year,
Well, you
because
can't
because
confuse
they've
me.
yeah, it's all right, but no, they've been having the Madden Bowl. We all know that Drini, who I want to talk about later because he kind of relates me into this next topic, but Drini is probably one of the hottest players out right now. He won two. His first time eligible for competing was in Madden 18, and in Madden 18 he ended up winning the Draft Champions mode, the Madden 18 Challenge, and he came in the finals, lost to Young Kiv in that championship. Madden 19 he won the Madden Bowl. However, this year he was really the only player in the salary cap mode that tried to have a balanced attack on offense. And basically what I've been seeing from articles, and I know that it's a big discussion, people saying how, oh, he won with a punter at quarterback. Well, if you play salary cap mode, which this is what my argument is, you had to be one way or another, pretty much. Like if you wanted to pass the ball, you had to build an offense that fit that offense. And Drini tried to keep it balanced, but ultimately he ended up losing. So so what my point is that although I can kind of see where these people are coming from, but they don't understand the mode or like what mode they're be playing on. And that this scheme that Joke was running, he had a punter at quarterback and he had offensive linemen at wide receivers. That wouldn't work in any other mode. It's not going to work in Mutt Draft. It's not going to work in regular Mutt or in regular teams. So that's basically what I have to say. But I guess Shane, what's your opinion on the Madden Bowl as a whole?
Okay, so just to hit up on a little bit, I have no problem with Joke did. The
Right.
thing is to me is everybody gets mad because like all the younger people besides a few like you and a couple others, they all want to pass 55 times a game and win that way, and they think that if you run you're a bum and it's weak. But Madden 19 winner was a guy who just spammed bunch and ran Pat Sales the whole time and then would playmaker and then run around with Michael Vick. There is no difference, you guys. It's what you like. So if I like running more than passing, I'm going to hate the passing Maddens. If I love passing, I'm going to hate the running Maddens. Now, the one thing that I think is a difference, Trey, and I hit on with you in text messages, is I do think that when it's a running Madden, it does allow for worse people to hang around longer. Because it kills the clock. Like Joke won't win next year. I'm going to put that down right now. Joke won't win if it's a passing Madden. From everybody I've heard, from people I've talked to, they say Joke will make a mistake in a game passing that will cost him the game. Will he make the live event? Yeah, I think so. So it's still really good. But what I'm saying is I don't think he'll win a championship because I don't think he's a good enough passer, at least what everybody's telling me and at least what people are tweeting out. The thing is what pros want to do is, okay, throw a 1-4-6 dime out. I'm just making a defense up. Blitz everybody, put a couple in like soft squats, a yellow, and a deep blue. And then what will happen is a passer that's not amazing, like a Skimbo or a Dreeny or a Kiv, they'll make a mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that makes a little bit of a bigger gap than if I hand the ball off and then I chew for 40 and then I run the ball and chew for 40. But to me it doesn't matter. You have to adapt. Like next year I'm already going in the mindset that I have to be a top passer to go deep. Will I still be able to run? Yeah, because I'm a good runner. A lot of these people that made live events, there will be people that won't make a live event in Madden 21 because they can't pass at all. But to me, you just got to be able to adapt. Like, you can complain about everything. And I complain too, but in the end, Joke was smart, man. He put all of his money on the defense and set up his running back to be awesome with a lot of three of the, what was it, Fearless on the offensive line?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that helped him run all over.
Yeah.
So to me, it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, and let's not also forget Frank Clark. Frank Clark had power specialist, and that's another thing too. I don't know if it's because nobody invested in their offensive lineman, but Frank Clark was getting in just like pretty much every play with power specialist.
But it's smart though. Like, and here's what's going to happen next year, Trey. And we'll have this conversation in October, I'm sure. It will be a passing game because they switch back and forth. Watch the offensive line be in the low 70s and be super fake. And then watch Randall Cunningham or Michael Vick or Patrick Mahomes or Russell Wilson run all around. That's what will happen in Madden 21.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is that I do think that, they should make the offensive line matters. I mean, do I think that if, someone's just rushing 3 the whole game that they should get in every play? No, I don't think that, but I mean, the offensive line is probably one of the most important positions in football, like I would say. So.
Well, yeah, but see, that's what I'm talking about. That's where I agree. Like, these 2 years, Madden 20 and Madden 19, I built a heavy offensive line, and it didn't matter because I didn't know about putting Fearless on the offensive line. But I still had great offensive linemen, and it didn't matter. Where I think the offensive line should matter. Like, I'm sorry, if Michael Vick was behind a bunch of terrible offensive linemen, he would get sacked more than Madden shows.
Yeah, especially. I mean, especially like, yeah, if you QB contain and do all that, yeah, that wouldn't have been good. So,
Hey, I want to answer this, Trey, and I'm going to throw it your way. I already know your answer. Nicholas said, "Do you think Joke should get his championship taken away?" And I say, "Hell no! It's the dumbest conversation ever to have." That's just me.
yeah. All right, so shout out to my guy Nicholas for being in the chat. Me and him are gonna dominate Madden 21 duos for those of you that don't know. But anyway, okay, so basically, I posted up, and like, this video kind of got me angry, but it was this guy saying, "Oh well, EA should." I don't know if he was saying if he was, saying EA should overturn it, but he was basically saying, well, in EA's terms of service, it says that, you're not allowed to use glitches or what have you. But honestly, from what I've seen, the comments of the video and what the consensus is that most people say that he shouldn't be able to. So, and also the big thing is like, you know, you hear from articles and, ESPN, I think Barstool did an article about it, but, they all say, oh, well, joke run with a punter at quarterback. It's like, is no one ever going to bring up the fact that his opponent didn't score on him one time in the championship? Like, no one's going to talk about it. Like, last time I checked, there's offense and defense involved in Madden. So,
He just out schemed everybody, and people are mad about that. But why isn't anyone really that upset with passing 24/7 or throwing the same blitz
right.
over and over? It's because people like passing. To me, guess what? Maybe in Madden 21, make the offensive line matter. Make the
Yes.
defensive line
Yeah.
matter. If I have a bunch of 70s on the defensive line and I have a great offensive line and great running back, I should be able to shove it down your throat.
Pause.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hear you.
Hey, I almost commented when you said about Dreeny, bro. I almost said pause, but I didn't.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Me and you agree on a lot of
Right.
things. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
why is the offensive line 70s, and then because I have Michael Vick with Escape Artist, I can run around and not be caught by 94 defensive ends? In real life, Aaron Donald, Bruce Smith, um, Jadeveon Clowney would knock
Khalil
around
Mack.
a bunch of
Yeah.
crappy linemen, and they wouldn't. And Michael Vick would not be able to hit the speed burst and run backwards. Would he do it once in a
Yeah.
while? Yeah, of course. But all the time, even half the time, no.
Right. And like looking back, and I mean, I think me and you have the same feelings about abilities. I think that, they're unrealistic, but the one thing that I do agree with is that I kind of agree with them, saying that we want to make our superstars feel separate themselves from the rest. They want, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Donald, the top tier of the NFL to stand out from everybody else. And I agree with that, but you shouldn't need abilities to do that.
Hey, it's funny, bro. Like a few of the guys that are like really, really cancerous to the community, in my opinion, and they're kind of well known, but they're like me skill level.
Right.
Um, I brought this up, I think last week or the week before. Without abilities, they didn't even make the online tournament. So with Mutt Draft, they didn't even make it. And people could be like, yeah, well, he got a crappy draft. But you got a crappy draft all the time because I've made every online tournament, which means I don't rely on my abilities. I may not be good enough to make the live right now, but I don't rely on my abilities.
Yeah. And I mean honestly because and that was like, and like I tried to do the whole DC thing. I actually, I didn't make top 100, but I kind of made it somewhat far. I beat a few top 100 guys, but I mean, draft champs is it's like, not only do you get like a playbook selection at the beginning, but you get three extra selections. So 6 out of 32 playbooks. That's like what's the percentage on that?
6 out of 32, you said? It'd be
Yeah,
roughly like 16%.
yeah. So the odds like so if you're telling me you can't make a scheme out of 6 playbooks you can't find anything good. It's like like do you even deserve to be in the tournament?
Yeah, but and it's not even that though. Like the percentages go up to about 30% or 25% when you play it enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like if I play 200 games of MUT Draft, that's what the average player does. You have 6 games at the max. So you're going to get about 30 or 40 different playbook options at the minimum.
yeah,
But if you go 4-2 in every MUT Draft playbook, you're going to have about 80 or 90 playbook options. They didn't make it because they needed abilities. When I played the guy and I beat him by like 40 in MUT Draft, you know what he tried to do? He tried to run around the edge with the QB, but there's no escape ability, so I'd sack
escape
him.
artist. Yeah,
Yeah, thank you, escape artist. And then he tried to flip it to the running back, and he couldn't get around the edge because there's no ability. There was no stiff arm or whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Got me all
yeah.
fired up.
Yeah. Seeing that video and seeing mainstream, which I guess it makes a good story, which is also kind of a reason why, I'm like, people say like, fake news or whatever, and they don't really get the whole story, and it's like, well, I kind of understand it now, because it's like because I keep seeing these articles written, and obviously, these people they don't play Madden or whatever, but they just say, oh, guy wins tournament because he has a punter at quarterback, and it's like not really.
But you know what? If you want to look at the positive, and a lot of the times, bro, I look at the negative things. I do, and I've been trying to switch my
Yeah.
brain up. If you want to look at the positive, at least they're showing promotion for Madden by being on
Right.
ESPN, and then maybe the second thing, maybe they're telling people like, hey, we need to make the game more realistic. Like there should be no QB at punter, but there should
Right.
also be no crappy offensive linemen that do just as good as 89, 90 linemen. So maybe they're trying to make a point, but I doubt it. I just think they didn't. They just saw that a QB wasn't even on the roster, and they just said he ran the whole time. But he outsmarted the game. That's all he
Right.
did. It's just like where Skimbo in the passing Maddens, he finds one play with 3 different route combos. You know what I mean? And then has a medium, a short, a deep route, and throws it up, and it works. But what I've seen, I'd say about 85 to 15% don't complain on the passing when people win from just passing one play. There's still about 15% who complain that it's all passing and dumb. But I feel like with running, it's like 40-60. Like 60% hate it.
Right. You know, and I think that, ultimately it just comes down to because I'm, part of the percentage where I think that, everyone's saying, oh, running doesn't take skill, and it's always my biggest argument is like, well, I could get Michael Vick with escape artist. I could run a corner route. I could roll outside the pocket, and then the guys that are covering the flats are gonna stop playing defense, and then I'll just throw it over. Is that skill?
No,
Like,
well, no, I totally agree. Now, I do think running is easier during the running Maddens. Just like I think passing is easier during the passing Maddens. Now this year, like you were talking about and you hit on this, I didn't know that they knew how to make the zones dumb out by rolling out.
Right.
I didn't know rolling outside the pocket made it all dumbed out. And another thing is, what I don't know if you did it, but you know when you click R3 and send the QB spy in?
Yeah, and it sends the guy that's covering the flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does that too. So
I'm hoping it's realistic, but I personally think it'll be early August released, and I think there's going to be like 20 patches in the first month. Because everything's getting back to normal slowly with, some guidelines. But people are going to start going back to work here in the next couple weeks. A lot of people are. So there'll be more people at EA. There will be more people in Madden working on Madden. And so even if they have a product out that's like not totally done, but they want it out because football season looks like it's going to be on schedule, there'll be a lot of patches in the first month.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for sure. So I mean, right now, I mean, we're talking about, Madden Bowl, and this is probably, because, when Madden's busy, I can just kind of come on here and just talk about, what's been going on, but like until we hear more about what Madden 21 is gonna be like, and the whole beta situation is gonna be kind of dry. So.
Oh, I did hear that the zones are going to be a little bit better, supposedly.
Oh, from the insider that you
Yep.
heard about. Okay.
Yep. He did tell me that. He did tell me that zones are going to be a little bit better. They're trying to figure out how to not necessarily dumb out the ability thing, but taper them down.
Yeah.
So that'd be good.
Yeah. I think that the two abilities that I'd like to see go away completely are Enforcer and Escape Artist. If they took away Escape Artist and Enforcer, I'd be kind of okay with. Why? I don't know, because I don't really know what the whole post flag the receiver abilities.
They catch
do,
the ball more. It's
Right.
almost as glitchy. Because here's what I'll say: when I was doing Last Chance Qualifier, when I had a chance,
Yeah.
this guy would roll out, right? And I
Right.
think it was corner. Calvin Johnson had corner route or something like that, out route or whatever. He would catch it double teamed. But if he came across the middle and it was double teamed, he'd either get picked or dropped. And then he'd have a post guy. Yeah, so it was as OP as anything.
Yeah.
But I do agree, Enforcer and Escape Artist need to be gone.
Yeah. And also for everyone in here that's a weekend league player or a head-to-head player, the whole Most 100 I think needs to go as well. I kind of understand it, but it's like one play, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of dumb. They can just throw it up to Moss on the first play. You can't do anything, and a lot of times he just breaks tackles, so you're just giving up a touchdown no matter what. So,
I had this discussion with you a while ago, but I think weekend league players as a whole, there's a few good ones. I think they're at a disadvantage if they try to really compete in MCS. Because weekend league's unlimited, right?
Yeah, it's unlimited. It gets a lot of viewers because you have like K-Mac, Throne, Chaos is another one. A lot of guys that just play MUT unlimited. But they're at a disadvantage because when they play LCQ or some other mode, they're not going to have super souped up teams that they're used to.
Well, that's
So,
why in clubs this year, because and this is one thing I agree with on the pros. I don't know what you think, Trey,
yeah.
but okay, last year the weekend league winners were the number 1 and number 2 seeds in every club, no matter what.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And a lot of the pros said, well, that's dumb because they're running with, I believe they said unlimited teams, and it's not even the same thing. This
It's
year,
an all-pro.
yeah, and well, this year the weekend league players are the worst seed.
Right.
So there might be a good weekend league player that will upset a 1 or 2 seed. But I believe, the number 2 seed in Titans, and I played the number 1 weekend league player, and he was good.
Do you remember what his game tag was, or no?
He was actually friends with like Intoxic Ape, the guy that was horrible, like tricked me. And then a couple others. I don't remember his name, but he was like up on me, and then I figured him out, and he was like, "This would never happen in weekend league. I'd smoke you." And I'm like, and I said, "But who cares? This is a mode we're playing on."
Yeah.
And so, so I think, and we had a conversation with a person in here that really didn't care for my opinion, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And now they don't come in here. But it's really true in my opinion. Besides like the chaos, and you said the throne, I'll take your word for it because I don't know who he is. I'm just taking the word.
Right.
And K-Mac, I know K-Mac and Chaos.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 best of players on Weekend League.
Right.
But they haven't won a championship yet. It's just like the whole argument with PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, that argument's still going on.
I like K-Mac and Chaos. Chaos is a cool dude, man. I would root for him.
I like him too.
If it wasn't me or anybody else that I know personally, Chaos is a cool dude. He never said anything bad. But I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I think salary cap players are better than weekend league players.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that too. Not saying, because a lot of people like in weekend league, like because I play weekend league every week, and it, I don't really take it seriously. I mean the only reason that I play that mode is for the rewards that you get. So, but I think that's what the majority of people do it for.
Well, yeah, but you know what though? Another argument that like is pretty cool. And yes, I stumbled over my wording, but I was thinking what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
I can do what the weekend league players do, but the weekend league players can't do what the salary cap players do as well, if that makes sense. And I'm talking strictly people that are competing for the MCS tournaments. Like, I could go on weekend league and soup up all my team.
Yeah.
But I think they'd have a bigger issue trying to go from their weekend league and make a salary cap team.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
And I mean, we talk about, because, I feel like there's a lot of people in the community that have their little, like niches that they do. But I mean, for weekend league guys, I mean, I think that you were telling me about how Ty Eagles, he plays MUT head to head, but he's been successful with because if you're good at the game enough, you could probably make like 1 million coins a week in weekend league, and then you sell coins to other people and make a pretty good chunk of change doing it. And no, if anyone from EA Sports is listening, I don't sell coins, nor do I buy them, so don't ban my account.
Nicholas says that Moss should be in Madden still.
Okay.
I don't know about that, Nicholas, man. I don't care for abilities, and I know I'm in the minority here. Besides you, I don't care for the abilities. I think they bail people out. Like, you can't be good enough with a Vic who's a 97. You have to have escape artist. What's that word? Outside the pocket or whatever. Perfect Deadeye or dashing Deadeye.
Dashing Deadeye, yeah.
You have to have all that to be good. Like, take the abilities away.
Yeah. Again, and I think this is kind of where we get into the whole, the wishy-washy because abilities, whether you hate them or you like them, I think it's fair to say that they're gonna be coming back for this year.
Oh yeah, they'll be back for sure.
Yeah, but the question is like, how are they gonna execute it this time? Which is gonna be interesting to see how they do that.
I personally think they will just lower it. I think what will happen is they'll put abilities out, right?
Right.
And for the first maybe month or few weeks, there will be some abilities that are so OP, so ridiculous, that it's not fair. And then they'll patch it. They'll either make like salary cap 999. You know what I mean?
Yeah, those cards where you can't use in salary cap, yeah.
They'll do something like that. So I just think we'll have to deal with it until they either get rid of it or they find a good balance for it. And you know what? Do you remember you and I talking about the cone? Didn't they tried to bring back the cone in Madden 18 and I said nobody's going to use it? Do you remember that? That was you, right?
Yeah. You were talking about it, and they did the whole target passing.
That's what I mean.
18.
That's what I mean. Target passing.
Yeah.
And nobody used it. I think there was one person who was decent at it. That was a pro, but the rest didn't do it. It's too hard. Like, I actually think abilities will stay forever though, because I think pros like it.
Yeah.
So what you'll get on Madden 21, Trey, is what you saw in LCQ at the end. But everybody will be doing it. You'll have QBs with escape artist, dash and deadeye, and then you'll have wide receivers with abilities.
Yeah. At least you could still look forward to because I think this year, like, the mud draft tournament was pretty entertaining. The regs. The regs at the start of the year was kind of bad because of Zeke's armbar was pretty much OP at that time. But I think regs should be kind of fun to do next year.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that they might have it online too. I know we were talking about it last podcast. I don't think so anymore, Trey. Everything's starting to go back to normal.
Yeah, so they'll probably just do it as.
Yeah, you'll have to take a test or you'll have to wear a mask, but because it's still 3 months away.
Right.
And in 3 months, everybody's going to be open across America. So I think people will go again. So I don't think it'll be online.
It's probably going to be. I hope that they at least, like, because last year they only had one. They had like one tournament in Texas, so hopefully they do like a Vegas one or whatever, and if you win or if you like do well in the Vegas one, then you can qualify for the main one or something. But
yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know what's going to happen. I just think everything's going to go back to normal. I really do. Like, right or wrong, it's going to go back to normal. I heard the NBA is going to be back in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
NFL's on schedule. College fall sports are back on schedule. So, I mean, pretty soon everything's going to be back to normal. Yeah, you might not have fans, but sports is still happening. And so with Madden, you might not be able to bring anyone to live events.
Right, right. Which is gonna be whatever. What do you consider going to it though?
I
Or
want it. I want to, but then at the same time, I'm like, I
yeah,
kind of want to see what happens the month before because mid-July everybody's supposed to be opening up.
yeah.
So I'd kind of like to see the kickback after the first month started.
Right, right.
But
And
here's something though. I don't know if I told you this, but they now found antibodies in 2 Washington residents at the start of December with the coronavirus.
okay. So what does that mean though?
Okay, do you remember how they said it was here in February or March or whatever? It was here in March, then it was February, then a couple people in California had it in late January, so they said, okay, late January the coronavirus is here.
Right, right.
Well, with the antibodies, 2 people said they were really, really sick at the start of December. They went and got tested, and they still had antibody or whatever, residue or whatever it is,
Yeah.
in their body. So they were sick from that at the start of December. So basically, the coronavirus is probably around more than people think. Because remember, they said February, then late January or mid-January, and now it was the start of December in the U.S., in Washington.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying this is, you know who Mark Few is at all? He's Mark Few. He's a Gonzaga Bulldog coach. And he said he had never seen his players be as sick as they were ever in his 20-year coaching career as a head coach as they were this year in November and December.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Wow.
So another thing is, problem with this coronavirus, and then we'll get back on topic, is they said about a month ago you can get sick multiple times from the coronavirus. Now they're saying you can't. You get sick one time, you live through it, you're basically immune to it.
Right.
So I mean, they just don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think for me, I think the thing that, like I'm not really one of those people that's like, overly, paranoid that I get it, but one of the things that I find myself pretty anxious about is the fact that, people were talking about saying how they got it and that they weren't able to breathe. Like, I think for me that's probably that has to be like one of the most intimidating things is to literally like not be able to breathe. So
Oh yeah, I mean that'd be a horrible way to go out. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but at the same time, you gotta have respect. Just like with any time you're sick, in my opinion. I think this should wake up a lot of Americans and a lot of people across the country, or in the world, excuse me, not the country, in America and all the other countries. If you're sick, don't go to your mom's. Don't go to your grandma's.
Right.
Just have some respect. Like, if I'm super sick, I'm not going to go see my 69-year-old dad who has COPD.
Right. Right.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying don't be scared or don't be nervous about it. But they've done a study, and it's like 2% of the people from age 0 to 45 are all the deaths. Barely anyone dies. And then once you hit 70s, it went to like 26%, and then 80s, it was like 90%. So it's more likely people that have and the people that have died young, they had bad immune systems, unfortunately.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not going to go out now. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, don't play with fire. If somebody says, "Hey, I have the COVID," I'm not going to go over and hang out with them. I'm not playing with fire, bro.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
for
anyways,
sure.
we can get back on topic.
All right. So yeah, again, a little COVID. It is nice though that it seems like it's gonna be going back to normal pretty soon. We're gonna have some sports coming down, which is always a good thing. And of course, the new Madden coming out. It's always it's kind of like, I don't know if you ever felt this way, but you know when when you're a senior in high school and they say you get what's that word, senioritis or
Yep,
whatever.
senioritis.
it's kind of it's kind of like that with Madden. Like once it gets to a certain point, it's like I don't it's like I'm already ready for the new world. Like I'm done with this old world.
Oh man,
So
I want Madden 21 here, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like it'll be a little bit harder for me with a newborn, but with him having to start to get a little bit of a schedule, I can almost time it when I can play during the day when he's asleep,
yeah, yeah,
and then at night the wife is home. So I'm just, bro. Honestly, I'm just ready for Madden 21.
yeah,
I, I,
yeah.
I I'm
So
excited, bro.
yeah, it's it's a new game. It'll be and also hopefully when Madden 21 comes around, not for MCS wise, but we have we've gained some good subscribers over the last couple year. So shout out to everyone that's been in the streams, commenting on the videos and being in the podcast and that sort of thing. So we're continue to grow. I believe we're on the road to 3,000 subs at the moment, right?
Oh yeah, hey man.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro, you hit on it, and I try to do it, and sometimes I forget. But you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. We are growing. Like I was at 700 subs at the end of Madden 19, or in middle of Madden 19, excuse me. Since Madden 20's come out, we have gained, bro, over about 1,600.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, we
So
definitely, bro, we'll definitely get to like 3,000, 4,000. I'll say, bro, we're at 5,000 by Madden 21, and
yeah.
I really feel like it. I mean, the podcast is going strong. People watch it afterwards, even if they're not, live with us.
Right.
The tips are going out. We're selling merchandise. You guys can get the West Coast uh, merchandise. It's in the channel. It's on a link. It's also in the chat. So you guys can get
Yeah.
anywhere from cups to mouse pads to sweatshirts to t-shirts. I try to make it cheaper, even if Trey and I don't make as much as some people
Yeah.
try, but I just want people to be able to afford it. I mean, so go support us, man. I put out free tips every week. I try to help you guys out instead of make a paid membership for it. Trey puts his time in every week with me on the podcast. So if you guys can support us, go click on the link.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So some exciting things going on, and it's really going to be nice because if one of us makes a run at a we tournament and then we invest some more money into this YouTube thing, then it'll be good to go.
Well, like you
We'll
and I have
be
always talked about, if we can blow up either through this podcast or either through one of us making a live or through just this channel blowing up for tips and patches, I would really like to set up a room
yeah, for sure.
and
That'd
like
be
either you
legit.
drive up here or I drive down there and then we can have a camera on us and go live.
Yeah, it'll be super official then. Yeah,
Oh yeah, bro.
that'd
Next
be
year I'm gonna get
awesome.
a house.
Yeah.
We're all talking about getting a decent sized house, so don't rob me, anyone. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was already thinking about that because you and I had those conversations before. If we can blow up, where like, yeah, I mean, it'd have to be like 30,000 subs to make it worthwhile. which we're a ways off, obviously. But yeah, I would get a couple microphones, studio microphones, and do live action.
Yeah. So are you still gonna be living in Spokane though when you
Yeah,
move out?
yeah,
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know where yet. They're probably on the north side still, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be somewhere decent. I mean, just so I don't have to move, again. I don't like moving. I've moved like twice in
Yeah.
10 years. And I just don't like moving, man. I'm too rigid and like the same schedule and stuff like that. So, yeah, hopefully I'm trying to we're trying to get a house where we're in a decent neighborhood and, we can have our kids and grandchildren come eventually down the road.
Right, for sure.
And then the studio. Hey, the
Yeah.
studio.
We're gonna have to. It's gonna be kind of a clash because we're gonna have to figure out a way because you're a Seahawks fan and I'm a Patriots fan, so we're gonna have to get some have like a 50-50 studio of
Oh no, that's what I was
member
on, bro. Yeah, on your side you can
memorabilia.
have the little
Yeah.
Patriots, and on my side,
Yeah.
we can have the big bad Seahawks.
Do you do you actually like do you have any like I guess like cool sports memorabilia type things like jerseys and stuff like that or not really?
I have a Marcus Trufant, um,
That's a
uh,
throwback.
a Russell Wilson, which my in-laws bought me. Oh wait, maybe it wasn't my in-laws. I don't remember. Anyways, and then a 12 jersey,
Right.
and then I have some Mariners gear, a lot of like Edgar Martinez stuff, Gonzaga stuff. Like basically, bro, I'm the pro. Like I'm just a normal like guy wearing like a sweatshirt with short basketball shorts.
Okay. So you don't really like wear jerseys like that much
Just
anymore?
out and
Or
about? No,
yeah.
no. That's just not me, bro. Like usually it's just like a basketball tournament that I've been in t-shirt with basketball shorts, or if we're going out, it's a button up with some nice jeans and shoes.
Right. Right.
But
All
yeah, that'd be
right,
sick,
guys.
bro.
So
Sorry to
yeah,
yeah, I
that
didn't mean
that
to
would be
interrupt. I was just
awesome.
saying that'd be sick, man. If we can blow up and get that a little studio in my place and have like half my wall being my sports teams on your side, your sports teams.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. So now we are moving on to the poll question of the week. As always, every week there is going to be a poll question in the community tab. Shane's going to post it up online, and what it is, it's going to be three separate questions, and you guys are going to vote on it, and whichever gets the most votes is the one that we're going to be talking about. So. For this week's poll question, the winner was things that you can't live without. Now, for me, the things that I can't live without is oxygen and water. Shane, what are some of the things that you can't
Okay,
live
besides the obvious, bro.
without?
Besides like oxygen, water, food,
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Besides the basic stuff that you really need, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously my family, but
Right.
that's usually a normal thing. But a few things that I've noticed, honestly, that have been really, really hard during the coronavirus, and I'm not gonna lie, is the sports.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a big TV watcher, as I found out. Like, I need sports to watch, bro. Like, it's really hard not watching sports. Another thing is, I think I need my phone more than I thought I did.
Right. Like so would you say that um because I don't think that because I follow you on Twitter and that sort of thing, but I can't really see you as like a social media type of a guy, but maybe I could be wrong.
No,
But
no, 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 no
yeah,
social media. I mean, I had what was the thing before Facebook? MySpace. I did have
MySpace.
MySpace
Yeah,
when I was
yeah,
like young, And then after that, though, bro, like besides Twitter, where I'm looking at sports, or I might say in my comment, which you see,
Yeah.
I don't do much of that. I just like to be online, and I like to read like about sports, history, and stuff like that. But I think I've relied more on my phone right now to read just stuff because there's nothing else on. Because like, here I'll give you just a little bit of my life. So during Madden season, since I don't need as much money now, um, I would get up, take care of my kid, get him off to school, get on Madden, make some money, grind for the tournaments, and then about 6 or 7 at night, I'd eat dinner with my family, hang out with them, and go to bed, rinse and repeat. Well, during this off season, they've closed down everything. So now I'm just stuck at home for the most part trying to read it. Nicholas said he can't live without gun. I don't have a gun, Nicholas.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I hiccuped right when I said it.
I thought he said gum at first, and I was like, what? But
no, guns. I mean, I haven't had a gun actually ever. I know how to shoot them well enough, but I just don't think for me it'd be the right idea to have a gun in my house.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, same here. I don't really want to go down I guess, the political realm that much, but I kind of have my personal feelings about guns and what have you. But I mean, at the same time, it's the Second Amendment. I support people having the rights to bear arms and things like that. But I do have my personal beliefs on guns and that sort of thing. But we'll leave that for another day. But,
You know what's crazy? And I know people are gonna be like, "Shut up, Shane." And I'm gonna say, and if you guys want to come at me later on, go ahead, man. I think alcohol is worse than marijuana. I'm gonna flat out say that.
I think a lot of people feel like that, though.
Yeah, maybe now,
Yeah.
but like the stigma, bro, when I was younger and growing up was marijuana's the gateway drug.
Right.
But I never did other drugs. So
Okay, so do you still do the 420 today or no?
no.
No,
No, I mean
no,
maybe
okay.
once in a great while, but no. No, not anymore, man, cuz I get too much anxiety from doing it anymore.
Okay, but back in the day, did you?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay. So to close this out, like I don't know if you have any good stories or what have you, but I guess but to close this out, do you have like I guess like the first time that you got high? Do you have like a cool story from that?
Okay. I'll do two stories. They might not be the greatest. I'm going to answer Nicholas's question. How am I going to defend my kids if I don't have guns? A, if I'm in a crappy enough neighborhood, I'll have a gun.
Right.
But I'm not going to ever be like that. Hopefully, knock on wood. B, I can fight, bro. So, if the dude comes in, I'm swinging. I have knives if I need a knife. But here's the thing, Nicholas. If the dude comes in to kill you, and he has a gun, he's probably going to fire on you first. I mean,
Yeah.
and that might mean your time's up, unfortunately. I mean, I can't live in a worry that somebody's going to break in. How about this, Nicholas? What if I'm asleep and somebody breaks in and I don't hear them?
Yeah.
And I have an AR-15. Doesn't matter, I'm asleep.
Or another thing too, what if one of your kids sees the guns and then thinks that it's a toy?
Oh,
and then,
yeah, and not with my older kid. I mean, he wouldn't anyways. He's high enough. He's RIQ, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with people having guns. I just don't
same
feel
here.
like
Yeah.
I'm not so scared that I need like a 357 and a 40 Glock by my nightstand. If it's like, if somebody breaks in, I'm telling my wife and kids to jump out the window, which we're on the first floor, and I'll try to fend the dude off. And if I die, I die. And that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But I can't worry about it all the time.
Yeah, no. And again, you know, my whole thing with that is that, you know, a big reason, which again, I don't have an issue with people having guns, but the main reason why people have guns is because they have an interest in guns. You know, people saying, "Oh, I need all these guns to protect my family," and it's like you have guns because you have an interest in having guns. Like if you like had a gun for protection and you weren't into guns, you'd probably just get like a taser or something. So.
You know, and guns can get you in trouble, especially if you have a quick temper or a quick trigger. And that's all I'm saying. That's another reason I'm glad I never did growing up. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Now back to the other story. So the very first time I ever did it, right, I was with my friends at my friend's house, and his dad did it. And I was weirded out as hell that a dad would do it with the kids. So I was like, nah, I'm going to do it in a different room at least. I did it, right? And I'm like, oh, man, that's not bad. Well, I was sitting on the couch, and my parents had dropped me off. And I was going to spend the night. And all of a sudden, I heard pounding on the door. And it was echoing, and I was high as hell. And I swore they were coming to pick me up, and they never did. But that was the very first time. After that, man, I had funny-ass stories, bro, that, like, my friends and I were joking about. We were at my friend's house. He had my friend's friend mom was special needs. Well, okay, so we smoked. Everybody left. Like, they fell asleep. You know how weed does. People fall asleep, blah, 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 blah. Well, me and her were outside rapping. We're just like, dude, we were flowing and everything was going. All of a sudden, the special needs lady got up and came outside. And we're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry we woke you up, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, good thing you woke me. I would have wet myself. It was super funny if you were there, bro. I mean, I just had those kind of funny stories. I mean, there's times like I went and ate the dude's lunch meat in his refrigerator, and the dad woke up and was like, looks like a damn chipmunk ate my lunch meat. What was happening here? I mean, stuff like that, bro. But I was young. I was super, super young.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator. I just cussed on this, my bad.
Yeah, no, you're good, bro. I'm just saying. But but see, it's funny because alcohol. When I drank alcohol, I was actually nicer than me. Like when I'm sober. Like, so it was fun. It was good. But a lot of times I'd go out with my friends and they'd drink and they'd become like a super villain. Like, try to be tough and start fights. And I always had their back, and I was always loyal as hell. But it wasn't fun, if you know what I mean. The same friends that were smoking that were like, let's order a pizza, dude. And they were, honestly, that's how they were. It was we were the stereotypical. They would be like, what's this guy's problem when they're drinking? Me, I just want to have a good time.
Yeah, because I think alcohol like affects the system where it's like things that would bother you at first, but you didn't say anything because you had like that thing that's telling you not to, but when you're like drinking or whatever, then that's no longer there. So it's like whatever like's on your mind, then you just say it basically.
I'll just be honest. If I'm mad at you and you try to be tough, I'm gonna punch you in your face if I'm sober or drunk. So I don't have to have that liquid courage, as they call it. But I mean, it's just funnier to be around people that are smoking than drinking, if you want to know the truth. At least per me.
Right.
And I'm not around it that much anymore, obviously. Most people have, like, kids and stuff, and they might do it at home and go to sleep, you know. because a lot of it does help, like anxiety and stress and back problems and so on, which I don't have a problem with, and it's less dangerous to your body than alcohol. But anyways, those are my topic. Those are just finishing up the podcast.
Yeah. All right, guys. So sounds good. This has been an episode of the West Coast Madden Podcast. If nothing changes within the following days, we should be back here Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Be on the lookout if there's a rescheduling thing that needs to happen for whatever reason, then Shane will post it up on his YouTube channel. But other than that, I think that's going to conclude this episode of the podcast. I'm going to throw it over to Shane to close this out.
Yeah, Trey, it was a good podcast. I appreciate the people being in here. I appreciate the people that will listen after down the road. But yeah, we will definitely be back May 28th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. That's a Thursday. Unless something happens, I will post it. But this was the West Coast Madden Podcast. I was Shanegotyou11 with Trey. I'll see you guys next week.